Hello Aries, thank you for joining me. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I'm going to get right into it. I'm going to pull some cards for the month, and then we'll clarify them with the Rider-Waite deck that everybody is familiar with. Can't believe we're going into March already. This year is just moving right along. Alright, shuffle here. I'm using today the Oceanic Tarot deck. I do a cut here. And see what we have. Page of Swords, Two of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, move them up just a bit, Justice, and finally King of Swords. Let me see if I can make this a little bit more viewable. I'll kind of go up a little so I can spread them out more. Go. All right, let's have a look what we got. Okay. So this feels very mind over chaos with a strong growth through discipline theme. Let's walk through it. Okay, so we start with the Page of Swords. This is curious, alert, mentally active energy. It's the card of someone watching, learning, and asking questions, sometimes even overthinking, okay? So this could be you right now, researching something new, watching how others move before making your own move, and feeling mentally restless, okay, wanting clarity. Maybe, for example, you've started a new project at work and you're double checking everything, reading between the lines of emails, trying to understand dynamics before speaking up. Or you're sensing something is shifting and you're gathering information. There's intelligence here, but also nervous energy. Then we have the Two of Pentacles. So now we see juggling. This card says you're balancing multiple priorities. Okay, work and personal life, stability and risk, logic and emotion. You might be managing two roles, trying to make a financial decision or adjusting constantly to changing circumstances. For example, you could be taking on extra responsibilities while trying to maintain performance, or maybe balancing a long-term goal with immediate bills and obligations. This card doesn't show failure, it shows adaptation. Or adaptation. Okay. You're keeping things moving, even if it feels wobbly. Then we have the Eight of Pentacles. This is the turning point, okay? Focused effort. This is the Craftsman card, okay? Achievement, skill building, repetition, mastery through dedication. This says that whatever you're juggling, you're choosing to take it seriously. You're willing to put in the work. For example, studying to improve your qualifications, refining your communication style, or learning a system deeply instead of cutting corners. This is not overnight success energy, it's long-term investment energy. And then we have the Justice card. So now we move into accountability and truth. Justice asks, are your decisions aligned with your values? Are you being fair to others and yourself? Are you seeing the situation clearly without emotional distortion? There may be a contract, agreement, or an evaluation coming. A moment of truth, or a moment where truth is being revealed. A decision that has lasting consequences. For example, you may need to choose between what's easy and what's right, or you could give recognition or correction based exactly on the work you've put in. Justice says cause and effect are active. What you've invested is coming back proportionally. And then finally we have the King of Swords. This is the final energy and it's powerful. The King of Swords is mental authority, clear boundaries, strategic thinking, calm logic. This suggests you stepping into leadership through clarity, making a firm decision without emotional chaos, speaking with confidence and precision. If the Page of Swords was curious, and slightly anxious. The King of Swords is composed and certain. For example, you start out unsure, researching and observing, you juggle your responsibilities, you commit to improving your skills, you face a decision that tests your integrity, and you emerge decisive and respected. Overall, the story feels like intellectual growth under pressure. You begin in questioning mode, you manage the instability, you commit to improvement, you face a fairness test, and you evolve into authority. This reading strongly favors professional development, legal or contractual matters, or any situation requiring mental sharpness and ethical clarity. It's less about emotion and more about strategy. If I had to summarize it in one sentence, you're moving from anxious observer to respected decision maker, but only because you're willing to do the disciplined, honest work in between. All right, so let's get some clarification cards. Just going to grab a clarifier for each one. Please clarify Page of Swords for us. All right. And then we're going to clarify the Two of Pentacles. One card, please. There we go. Five Cups and Eight of Pentacles, please. One card to clarify. Eight of Pentacles. There's one that flipped over. There. And then we have Justice that we want to clarify. Justice clarified, please. One card for that. There we go. Somebody flipped over. Okay, and then one more, please, for the King of Swords. One more card, please. King of Swords for my Aries. I'd like to clarify. Around the wrong way. Hang on. Okay. One more card, please. There we go. Oh, we got two on the last one. Okay. Eight of Wands and Four of Pentacles. Okay, so let's see how this changes things, or clarifies, actually. All right, so beginning with the Chariot, clarifying the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords is curious, observant, mentally alert, possibly anxious, or watching from the sidelines, right? But now that we've clarified it with the Chariot, it changes it completely. This is no longer just watching. This is focused mental direction. The Page alone can overthink. With the Chariot, the mind gets a steering wheel. It suggests you're not just gathering information, you're preparing to act. Your curiosity has a goal, and you're mentally gearing up for forward movement. You might be researching something because you're about to make a bold move, apply for something, confront someone, relocate, launch a project. You're not being nosy or anxious, you're just strategizing. What the Chariot adds, okay, is controlled momentum. It's willpower. It's I decide where this goes. So this combination says you may look like a page, asking for questions and observing quietly, but internally you're in Chariot mode, determined, competitive, and ready to drive forward. There's ambition here. There may also be a need to rein in scattered thoughts, a situation where you must stay mentally disciplined, a victory that requires emotional control. So the Chariot requires balance between opposing forces. If your thoughts, Page energy, start running wild, you could push too hard, too fast. Try to win a conversation instead of understanding it, or over-intellectualize emotions. But if you're aligned, this is someone who wins because they're prepared. Okay, so in the context of the whole spread, this makes the growth arc even stronger. You start curious and mentally active, but you're actually preparing for decisive movement. You juggle responsibilities, focus on mastery, justice balances the scales, and you step into the King of Swords authority. Chariot says this is not accidental growth. This is intentional advancement. You're not drifting, you're steering. Okay? Now, with the Five of Cups, clarifying the Two of Pentacles. Originally, the Two of Pentacles was about juggling and adapting and keeping things moving. Now with the Five of Cups, clarifying it, we understand why you're juggling. You're not just busy, you're managing disappointment. So this feels like trying to stay functional while grieving something, keeping life going after a letdown, or smiling and multitasking while internally processing loss. The Two of Pentacles says, I'm handling it. The Five of Cups says, but I'm not okay about it. You might be balancing work and responsibilities after a rejection, a relationship shift, a missed opportunity, or a decision that didn't go how you hoped. Outwardly, you're adjusting. Inwardly, you're replaying what went wrong. The Five of Cups focuses on what's spilled, not what remains. Right? So this combination suggests you're trying to keep momentum with the Two of Pentacles, but part of your energy is still tied to regret or sadness. The juggling act becomes heavier when one hand is holding grief. So in the Five of Cups, there are still cups standing right behind the figure here. You'll see there's still two cups over here. All right. You haven't lost everything, okay? This is key. Emotionally, it may feel bigger than it objectively is. So the Two of Pentacles becomes, okay, that hurt. Now, how do I reorganize my life around this new reality? In the flow of the spread, okay, strategic mental preparation, emotional disappointment while adapting, and then choosing to focus, etc., etc. This actually shows resilience. You feel the loss, you don't deny it, but you don't collapse into it either. You adjust. If I ask gently, does this disappointment feel recent or something you've been carrying a while trying to stay productive? Which is it? Now, I love this clarification. The Eight of Pentacles alone is quiet dedication. Head down, focused, crafting something carefully. It's apprenticeship energy. Now, we've clarified it with the Queen of Wands, and that changes the flavor completely. This is no longer just working hard. This is working toward visibility, confidence, and personal power. You're not just improving your skills, you're building yourself. The Queen of Wands is charismatic, self-assured, creatively bold, and comfortable being seen. So this combination says that you are actively crafting the version of yourself that walks into a room and owns it. For example, you're sharpening your expertise so you can speak with authority. You're refining your craft so you can stand out instead of blending in. You're developing confidence through competence. This isn't fake confidence, it's earned confidence. Remember, the Two of Pentacles clarified by the Five of Cups showed emotional disappointment. Now this pairing, instead of spiraling in that disappointment, you're channeling it into self-development, and that's powerful. The Queen of Wands doesn't chase validation. She becomes the energy that people gravitate toward. So whatever hurt or imbalance happened earlier, you're responding with self-investment. Okay? So the Eight of Pentacles is repetitive, focused work. The Queen of Wands adds fire, and that suggests passion returning, motivation being sparked, and a sense of, I'll show you what I can do. There's a glow-up undertone here. Not petty revenge, but self-elevation. Okay? Now, moving on to our Justice card, which has been clarified by the Fool. So justice is about truth, consequences, fairness, alignment. It's measured, logical, and balanced. Now we've clarified it with the Fool. That shifts the meaning from judgment to liberation. Okay? This feels like a decision that set you free. Justice alone can feel serious. Contracts, evaluations, karmic balancing. But the Fool says the outcome creates a reset, a clean slate, a new beginning. It's not just you get what you deserve, it's what's fair opens a new path. Okay? So this could mean a truth is revealed, and because of that truth you're able to walk away. Or a fair decision gives you permission to start over. Or you realize something clearly, and once you see it clearly, you can't stay where you were. You finally understand someone's role in your disappointment. The Five of Cups energy, right? And instead of resentment, you choose freedom. A professional decision goes in your favor, and it opens up a new opportunity. You hold yourself accountable, justice, and instead of self-punishment, you choose reinvention. Okay, so balance, justice, it's balanced head energy, and the Fool is open-hearted trust. So together they're saying you're not starting over recklessly, you're starting over consciously. It isn't naive, it's earned innocence. There's something beautiful about that. So then finally here we have our King of Swords, okay? And the King of Swords was clarified by the Page of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. Very nuanced. Right, so the outcome had been clear authority, mental mastery, composed decision making, but being clarified, this is going to add layers because now we're looking at what's underneath that composed exterior. On the surface, cool, rational, strategic. Underneath, a spark of excitement and a need for control. The Page of Wands is curiosity, creative impulse, new inspiration. It's that I want to try this energy. It's bold, but still learning. This tells me the King of Swords isn't emotionally cold here. He's inspired. There's something new calling you, a new direction, idea, or risk, and it lights a fire internally. For example, a new opportunity that excites you, a creative or passionate idea that you want to explore, or a bold message or a move that you're, excuse me, that you're considering making. But the Four of Pentacles, this is a control card. It's holding on, protecting stability, guarding resources such as money, time, emotional safety. So now we see the tension. You want to explore, Page of Wands, but you also don't want to lose control, Four of Pentacles. And the King of Swords sits between those two energies, right? Trying to make a logical decision. So what this really feels like? It feels like I'm excited about this new possibility, but I need to make sure it's smart. There's a cautious optimism here. Not reckless fool energy, not overly emotional energy, but calculated risk. Okay? So, overall, you have strategic mental preparation, emotional disappointment while juggling, self-investment and confidence building, a fair decision that frees you, and then stepping into authority but with a new spark of inspiration that you're handling carefully. Now this tells me something important. You're not becoming rigid. The King of Swords here is not cold or detached. He is someone who has learned from disappointment, has rebuilt confidence, has earned clarity, and now feels a new spark but refuses to jeopardize stability. So the core message here is that your next move is inspired but strategic. You're not the anxious page anymore. You're not the grieving Five of Cups anymore. You're not even just the ambitious Queen of Wands. You're someone who feels the spark, thinks it through, protects what you've built, and moves when it makes sense. That's maturity. So, I hope you found this interesting, helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up so that other people can get the message. Also, if you would subscribe, I would greatly appreciate that. And of course, you can hit the notification button when you want to know when I've uploaded new content. And until the next time, again, I thank you for being here, and we'll see you soon. Much love to you all. Bye-bye.